On row 1 of the Sports Cars GT, David White is on pole alongside Tim Shaw. Row 2 is Vaughan Guthrie and Lee Mundy.
Row 3, Mark Parsons and Andrew Lawson. Row 4, Craig Devlin and Barry Paget in the Peugeot.
We go back to the 5th row. Winton Tuxworth, Tony Oliver, Turner and Koistra share the 6th row. Just about ready to go, the Sports Cars GT. As you can see, the conditions are fairly adverse for them. We've got green lights and away we go. Our pole sitter didn't get away to the best start, but he does lead them away. Tim Shaw on the left-hand side of your screen has already dropped back to 3rd, and up in the 2nd straight away was yesterday's race winner Vaughan Guthrie in the RX-7. Then we go back to Mark Parsons.
Yeah, quite an interesting mix of cars here. Some cars competed in the Tiger Tasmania Road Rally a few weeks ago, and some of the Sports GT cars competing around the country. So it's quite a mix, but leading them down to Shell Hairpin for the first time. David White in the Tirana L34, Guthrie behind him, Shaw, pole man in 3rd position and really muscling the back of the Mazda as they come out of the hairpin and head up the back straight for the first time.
Tim Shaw, you may recognise that name. He's an ex-Suzuki GTI Cup racer as he makes a challenge now on Vaughan Guthrie in the Tirana, and he gets past him quite effectively. So good work there by Tim Shaw. Guthrie's back to that 3rd position. In fact, Vaughan Guthrie was a top 10 finisher at Targa this year. He makes the inside move on Tim Shaw, but he's a little further back than what he'd like to be. So at the moment it is still White, and we go back to Tim Shaw, Vaughan Guthrie, who gets all out of shape in the RX-7. And these top 3 have already increased their lead over the rest of the field.
Guthrie just balancing on the throttle, trying to get the power to the ground in the twin turbocharged Mazda RX-7. But our leader is David White in the number 10 Tirana. And just to show that motorsport does run in the family at Network 10, David White is in fact the General Manager for News and Current Affairs at Network 10. Enjoys his motorsport, and he's certainly leading this one handsomely as they head down towards Shell Hairpin for the 2nd time. Hard under brakes. Shaw trying to close the gap. Guthrie in 3rd. And it's Mark Parsons in the TR7 in 4th, and Mundy in 5th in the Porsche.
Got quite a bit of history, this car number 10, David White. In fact, the ex-Colin Bond Tirana. I believe it was the first one ever made, Mark.
Yeah, I was talking
L34, I should say.
Yeah, talking to David yesterday. First L34 Tirana made by General Motors and campaigned by Colin Bond in 1974. And not running that paint job now, but he's getting a lot of fun out of this car. Still running basically as it ran in the Group C days back in the 70s.
Well, White finished 2nd yesterday in their race. The man sitting behind him and who's challenging very, very effectively in the Tirana is Tim Shaw. He finished 4th, but he's now putting the pressure on for the lead as he climbs all over the back of David White.
So 2 generations of touring car. L34, the 308 5-litre V8 car, followed by the 6-cylinder Tirana XU1. Very close battle this as he sits back in the spray, headlights ablaze. Try a big run on White as they brake hard for the hairpin. Here's along the outside, side by side. He may have gone into fraction too deep, runs way offline, manages to gather it up, come back for another attack as they head up the back straight.
He's letting David White know that he's game to make any move that he wants to make. They've got quite a handy buffer over the 3rd place, Vaughan Guthrie and Mark Parsons. And the TR7 sits further back in 4th, quite a way off the pace at the moment. But the action's up front, 1 and 2. Here it is. Tim Shaw in the Tirana chasing David White. He has a look up the inside. He is just going for it big time.
Tim Shaw's car is very, very busy in a straight line. You can see how hard that suspension's working as he tries to get onto the back of White's Tirana up the back straight. Good under brakes. They come back toward the pit straight. He's having a look around the outside once again. 2 laps to go. He's right out near the grass. Gets right out on the white line and keeps White well in touch as they brake hard. Come back under Wheatbix Bridge once again. Good battle this between the 2 Tirana competitors.
Yeah, it's Tirana City at the moment. The L34 leads the way from the XU1. Can David White hang in there for just a little bit longer? Tim Shaw is really putting in a huge effort. Comes up on him under brakes once again into the Shell hairpin. Time is running out for Tim Shaw. Let's see what he can come up with this time down the back straight.
Well, the only way he's going to get White in a straight line is to get a good fast exit out of that hairpin. You can see the Shell Helix race score. White and Shaw in this battle on their own. There's 2.6 seconds back to Guthrie. Parsons a long way further back, and Mundy in 5th position. So the field becoming quite strung out behind this battle for the lead.
Under brakes comes Tim Shaw. This is, of course, our support category for round 4 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. No Formula Ford or Formula Holdens here as Tim Shaw comes around the outside again, Mark, and he gets all out of shape. Hang on to it, Tim.
Well, if aggression counted for anything, he would have won this race already. He's really, really pushing hard. See the car right out over the white line again, just managed to hang on to it. Plenty of power oversteer as they come out back under Wheatbricks Bridge for the final time. White gets a little bit of a tail slap on there too as he tries to get the power down in the L34. A big attack from Shaw. This is his last chance coming into the hairpin. He gets right up alongside, side by side as they come through the hairpin. But White's got him covered once again. One more opportunity for him as they come and brake hard for Coca-Cola Corner.
Well, Tim Shaw keeping it a little bit more in control as the race grows older. Vaughan Guthrie's dropped right off the back, but here comes Tim Shaw in the Tirana XU1. Sitting in second, he wants to be in that number 1 position. David White's going to have his hands full any tick of the clock. Shaw doesn't want to give in.
Well, no shortage of bravery here. Look at him on the outside, going as deep as he possibly could under brakes. But White equal to the task. Now look at this up the inside. Shaw gets it really sideways. Gathers it up. They'll go door to door as they come back toward the finish line for the final time. Look at how much opposite lock he's got on that Tirana. But White manages to hold him out for the checkered flag.
What a great race. Congratulations, David White. Well done to Tim Shaw. Boy, oh boy, he worked hard to hang on to the Tirana XU1. Managed to stick in there for second spot. And Vaughan Guthrie, there he is, car 19 in the Mazda RX-7. Fresh from his appearance at Targa Tasmania. Managed to sit in there for third. But here's the two guys that had that tremendous battle right throughout the race. The two Tirana drivers, David White and Tim Shaw. Let's check the final placings for you now. Of course, we know the top two. It is David White and Tim Shaw. Vaughan Guthrie in for third, ahead of Mark Parsons in the Triumph TR7, and Brian Tarrant in for fifth. Stay with us here on Network 10. We'll be back.